What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Cole Mize from ColeMizeStudios.com, bringing you another segment of 5 minutes to a better rap flow. And today we are going to be finally moving on to cadences. So up until this point, I've mainly been working with you on ear training, teaching you all the different musical notes, teaching you about swing, teaching you about how to dodge the beat and whip the beat, all those little techniques. And today we're going to be jumping into cadences. Now, if you're wondering what is cadences, basically cadences is our dance moves that we use as rappers. It's the way we combine all these notes that I've been teaching you and we create something really cool that sounds awesome. Now, you'll notice that I use cadence and flow as separate meanings. So I think of cadence as a zoomed in view of how you're moving around within one bar or two bars. I look at flow as more of a zoomed out view of how all your cadences connect together, how they flow together, as well as how smooth that you transition from one cadence to another. And I said in the beginning of this whole entire series that most people, when they're learning how to rap, they just focus on writing lyrics at first because they don't realize, they don't get the connection that it's the cadences that actually drive the lyrics. It's what makes the lyrics sound so good. It's the cadences that's going to make your lyrics sound so musical and pleasing to the ear. So remember, when you're rapping, you're actually playing the role of a musician or playing the role of an instrument. You are an instrument in the track that is complementing that track musically. And that's why your more skilled rappers will do what we call scatting to a track, which is basically mumbling cadences that don't have any intelligible or real words in them just yet. We'll typically do that and then we'll fit the lyrics to it. Because if we don't do that and we come up with the lyrics first, then we're just trying to fit those lyrics into the beat or cram those lyrics into the beats, which comes out sounding like that. It doesn't sound as musical. You can still rap on beat, but it may not sound musical because you're just cramming it in there. And so for today's cadence, it's pretty straightforward. If you look at the diagram here, it mainly consists of 16th notes. We're pausing for a half of the beat on beat 1 of the first bar. We're using an 8th note on the second beat, and then a straight 16th notes leading into the next bar. We use an 8th note on the first beat of that bar, straight 16th notes leading into the third beat of that bar. And that's using that technique I shared with you yesterday about dodging the beat. So we just rest for the rest of the bar, let it breathe for a moment. So let me demonstrate to you how this sounds real quick, and then we'll pass it back and forth. Check it out. Okay, now let's pass it back and forth. I'm gonna scat the 2 bars and then you scat the 2 bars. Let's get it. Okay, good. Now that we have our scat, our cadence down pat, now it's time to talk about translating that into actual lyrics. Now there's 3 main ways that we fill in our bars. The most obvious is syllable count, right? The more syllables you have, the more filled in your bar is going to be, right? But not all syllables are the same, okay? Not all musical notes are the same. Every single syllable you use is a musical note, okay? So it's not just syllable count that fills in the bar, how many syllables you're using, how many musical notes, but it's also how long are each of those notes. So the sustain of those notes have a lot to do with how much or how you're filling in the bar. And then also your breaths and your pauses fill in the bar. So the breaths and pauses are just as much a part of your cadence as when you're actually saying things, okay? So with that being said, I have already translated this right here. And this, I'm gonna scat it first and then I'm gonna actually rap the lyrics so you can hear how they're matching the same. Check it out. Never mind what you thought about me, you're one of a kind, so just leave it alone. Never mind what you thought about me, you're one of a kind, so just leave it alone. So there you go, that's a quick introduction on how to make your lyrics more musical by starting with cadences, starting with scatting, and then translating those cadences into lyrics. Now there's more technique that goes into it to make it actually work. I'm going to be getting deeper into that stuff moving forward in the next few videos, but let me go ahead and give you a tip right now. So I said just a few moments ago that there's 3 ways that we fill in every bar, right? The more syllables you have in a bar, the more it's going to fill it in. But remember, all syllables are not created equal. Every syllable that you rap is a musical note, and so some of those syllables are going to be longer than others. So it's also the sustain of those notes, or how long those notes are that fill in the bar, as well as your breath and pauses. So to make my lyrics actually work with this cadence, I had to manipulate a few words to make it work. So if you look on the first beat, I say never. I'm not saying never. I'm not just saying that to sound cool, I'm saying it to make it actually fit my cadence perfectly, because if I had the ER on never, it was going to take up more space. So I shaved it off a little bit, shaved that ER off to make it so I could say it faster. Also, if you look on the second bar, I say kind, so just. So I'm not saying just with a T on it. I shaved that T off once again so I could make it a shorter note. So that's just a quick little technique on how to manipulate your words, how to compromise your words enough to where you're still saying stuff that's intelligible. It's not coming off as sounding like gibberish, but you're matching that cadence more tightly. So I've got a homework assignment for you. I want to see if you can translate this exact cadence into your own lyrics, and I want you to comment on this video below, and let's see how you do. So I hope this video was helpful, informative. If this is your first time being here, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with that bell icon. I'm dropping a video every single day this month, and you don't want to miss that. Also, make sure you get yourself a free copy of my ebook, The #1 Fundamental to Rapping, which I think you will find extremely helpful. Again, this is Mize with ColeMizeStudios.com, and I'm signing off, but I will see you tomorrow. Y'all take care. We'll holler at you. Peace.